Hello. Alright, so today, this video will be a VOD review video. So basically, I had played this video. This channel is usually VOD videos, and so for some reason my mic was muted the whole time. My bad. I think I went to the washroom, I didn't turn it back on. So, in this one, usually what we do is I'm just going to go over it, and we're going to talk about how I played the game, mistakes I made, differences that I should have done that would have outcomed in a better game, etc. It's for learning experience. I usually do this on my own time, and sometimes I just do it on stream or here. So make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more VOD reviews, or join the stream as well, and you can ask questions there. So, let's see. So I'm looking for headliners, right? I think in stage 1-3 or stage 1, the main thing you're kind of looking for is like, what headliner am I going to take? And a lot of times I'm looking for, like, you know, you kind of risk it for the biscuit. I think a lot of times a tanky headliner is better than an offensive headliner, especially early game. I think that the tank headliners just offer you a lot more value when all the units are kind of shit and unupgraded in stage 2. And then they fall off and then you can switch it, right? I think in this game I end up trying to tempo the game. I have a rod and so I have good attack items, but where I have good AP items, so I already see that, and then I get an Annie. So Annie is busted. Annie is busted for many reasons, right? So I'll try and write them on the side here as we go through it. I'll just let the VOD play. But an Annie headliner is a really good backline unit because Annie kind of scales into late game, right? So when you think about Annie, you think of Superfan Annie, right? So Superfan gives her a Shojin, right? So I'll try and write it. Excuse the writing, right? Superfan Annie gives her a Shojin, right? The way Annie works is when she does a cast, if she like does a cast, like every time she casts, she starts casting like and hitting multiple targets. She scales really well into like spreading a lot of damage and, like, you know, borderline one-shotting if you give her a lot of AP, right? And she gets a lot of AP because of the other thing. Anyways, let me first. She gets a lot of AP because of Spellweaver as one of her traits. So I'm looking here. I'm thinking, do I go frequent flyer? Annie 3-star is firstable, right? That's a firstable comp, right? It's one of the only one-cost rerolls that is actually like really strong, right? So it's a doable thing. I end up taking bulk. The reason I just take bulk is because I'm looking to tempo it instead, right? You have to decide really early on if you're going for Annie 3 or if you're not going for Annie 3, right? You don't have to go for Annie 3. The way you can play Annie is you can just play Annie 2, which is stable for most of stage 3, most of stage 4, and even sometimes stage 5. And then you can switch out the Annie for something else, right? And just move those AP items. Anyways, so you're broken with Shojin. Bis items usually make like 2 Shojins. And then you put like, what is like Nasher's Tooth for like attack speed after she does her casts. And what I'm trying to do is I just slam a Jewel Gauntlet, right? So it's not necessarily the Bis item, which is maybe something you can critique, but I'm just trying to tempo it, right? I think in the stream, I'd already been playing a lot of fast 9ing, which is like the main strategy, or a really prominent strategy right now. And the idea behind it is that I'm not going for Annie 3. I'll go for Annie 3 if I'm given Annie 3, but I'm not going to go for Annie 3 for sure. I have a magnetic remover, so if I get Bis Annie items and I hit Annie 3 naturally, I'll play the Annie 3. But I'm not going to force the Annie 3, because that's how you can throw the game, right? Instead, what I'm doing is I'm going to play Annie until Annie falls off, and then I'm going to play towards level 9 and full legendary board, right? That's the goal of the game, per se. And that's like how you should think about it a lot of times, I think, is like you should always think about what's my max cap, and do I commit super early or not? If I naturaled like 3 or 4 more Annies this game, I would stay level 4, I'd roll on level 4, and I'd go for Annie. In this case, maybe not a good idea. Anyways. So I think stage 2, I lost the first match because I didn't have anybody to put in, so I didn't level up, right? I could level up and put in a Cassandra and just get Sentinel, but at this point I'm just trying to like get to Econ and kind of build my Econ a little bit, because I feel like I got 2 upgrades, right? I got Lilia 2, I got Kennen 2, So I spent a lot of gold. So I want to start building back the gold, because something that you fall into a lot of traps early game, I find, especially this patch where everybody's like leveling really fast, is sometimes you'll just like spend a lot of gold buying units and upgrading units. But if you shoot your econ in stage 2 and 3 and you have a bunch of upgraded units, all these units are shit. They're all going to fall off anyways, right? So then I won't have enough money, and the board value isn't high enough for me to like switch off of them and stuff. That's why I chose not to level, because I had the upgraded units. Now I naturally level to 4, so I put in the extra guardian. Now I have a little bit more tankiness. I'm starting to scout. I think during this stream, I think especially in this game, I scout a lot less, I think, than I should have, which I'll mention after if it becomes a problem. But the main reason is that I feel like a lot of times I throw when I start scouting. Because a lot of people are playing like these fast, like in between boards, and a lot of times I misread the situation of the lobby. And I feel like I play better if I just focus on, like, especially in stage 2, where decisions don't really matter, like, long term, unless you're, like, doing a reroll. I feel like stage 2 and early stage 3, I do a lot better if I just don't look at any boards and I hyper focus on what's the best board I can play right here. And then I start scouting like crazy towards endgame when it matters a lot more, like, in terms of positioning and all of that stuff. I think that's a bad thing. I think if you're a really good TFT player, you can do both, but I'm just too stupid. And I get too tilted, because sometimes I just see people with a country board and I see somebody with this, and then I'm like overthinking it. And no, just like play a strong board. Anyways, so there's a tier here. I'm gonna grab the tier to grab the Shojin. Now, why am I not? Hello? Oh, there we go. There's my pen. So the reason I'm making a Shojin, I have Jewel Gauntlet that I slam, right? Jewel Gauntlet isn't the best, and I don't have Super Fan in right now, which is, you know, not the best thing in the world. But I want to switch this Taric for a Super Fan, so that I get the extra item on Annie, right? And I want a double Shojin on Annie, because I still wanted to cast a bunch. This is Headliner Emo Annie, which I didn't mention before. I think Emo is the better of the Annies, because it gives everybody mana to cast instead of giving them like a little bit of extra AP, which is a bit hard to do. I find this, so now I have true damage. It kind of sucks because I made the Shojin, so I don't have an item for Kennen or this guy. You give them an item, because then they're true damage, they get like the bling bonus. I end up swapping Kennen for Spellweaver. I think I'm debating it. I think it's not worth it, but I'm not sure, so I want to try it for one round. Spellweaver, basically, the main thing it does, it gives AP, right? Which is really good early game, because you can like still kill stuff, but it falls off late game, because it's kind of like diminishing returns, especially if like full items committed. Anyways, these items, even though they look like they're Annie items, the Jewel Gauntlet and the Shojin, I'm thinking that I'm playing towards Karthus. Right, these are good Karthus items, and these are also decent Ziggs items, right? Maybe not Bis for either of them. I think it's Bis for Karthus, actually. And then like the last one you give him is usually give him some other mana AP, like you give him either double Jewel Gauntlet or Archangels as well. And then I have Ziggs, right? So these are who I'm thinking I'm gonna swap these items off onto, right? So that's why I just have them slammed. I think I can skip some of these. Like, we can just, I think I win out, because Annie now with items is like really strong, because I have a mana item on her with the Emo, right? If I had Super Fan, this would have been a free 5 streak, but I think, like, you know, it's just a 2 streak, because I lost one, then I lost the other one there. But something that's important to note is that I'm just trying to stay healthy, right? I'm like top of the health board if you look at it after this goes away. Not top, but like close to top. And then I'm just like trying to tempo it, right? The whole idea of tempoing with this board is that, as you can see, I didn't natural any Annies, right? So I'm not going to send here, right? I'm 40 gold, right? I'm not going to say, oh, I'm 40 gold, I'm going to send it for Annie 3, right? I think that's a huge throw. You should never do that. So I didn't do it, right? I just play towards, okay, I'm just going to sell this Annie eventually, right? I'm kind of thinking it here, actually. So I pushed the level because I just want to try and get a win streak, and then I get Super Fan in with the Gnar that I got dropped. So now what they're going to do with Annie is they're going to make her Super Fan item not a Shojin. So now I think Bis Annie, after the new patch, this was before the patch, right? Like now I think what you're going to have to do is it's going to be a lot harder to play Annie, because you won't get a free Shojin with Super Fan. Instead, you're going to have to, like, if you have like a Shojin as an opener and an Annie as an opener, it's gonna be like you can only play Annie if you have the opener for it, which I think is a lot better. I hate it when one costs are really strong. I feel like reroll should always fall off at one point, and that's like my my belief, because I feel like you shouldn't be rewarded for just like, you know, deciding something on stage 2-1 and then it being strong enough to win you the game, right? I feel like that's too much variance in terms of people just get a good unit and then they just tempo and win, right? Anyways, so I'm thinking like, what am I going to take? Duplicators? Am I taking like thing? I took the one that gives attack speed, and then I naturaled this AHRI, which is actually pretty big. It's not that big, but it is like, it does give me like 5 Spellweaver like for free, right? It also gets rid of this Gragas who isn't really doing anything, and now I have like a better Spellweaver here. There's also an MF in lobby, but I don't have there's an MF big shot, but I don't have, like, I have the board for MF, but so I could swap this headliner to MF, but I don't have the MF items, right? So I'm thinking about it, and it should be a troll, right? I don't think I can go for it. Anyways, I put in KDA, and I have, I think, 3 Spellweaver now with this. I just swapped out true damage for KDA. So I lose some front line, so it's a bit scary, but hopefully it's strong enough. And as you can see now, I'm starting to creep up with health, right? I kind of have a pretty stable board. I'm really strong. I have like double targeting with this dude as well, so I kind of melt a lot of these smaller boards. AHRI falls off AHRI's like good to kill units, but she falls off at one point because she's single target, right? So a lot of times when you have like these really big boards with lots of things, like you'll have games where like your AHRI is like shooting a tentacle from an Alawi, and then you just lose because she's shooting the tentacle instead of like killing a unit that matters, right? I think that's the big problem with AHRI towards late game. Anyways, I think, so I kind of high rolled right here, right? When you high roll something like this, where you get like a really strong unit that you're kind of like, okay, I'm going to win streak stage 3 barring some like act of God, right? I start scouting. There's nobody that has like an insane board. There's another guy that has an AHRI, there's another guy that has an Annie. I think I skipped over it like when I was pressing around. But this also might have been the reason why I decided not to go for Annie 3, because I saw somebody else with an Annie. But at the same time, it's like, you know, it is what it is. So basically the goal here is that because I'm high health, I have the option of like, how do I phrase it? I have the option of like determining whether or not I pivot off my board or not, right? When you're low health, you kind of have to play your strongest board, and you're kind of forced and incentivized to roll constantly and just send it. In this case, I think I'm playing it well because I'm just tempoing my board. I have my item slammed. I have bulk. I have 2 combat augments. I put Jewel Gauntlet on that guy. I can make a Steadfast Heart now because I grabbed Chain. And basically what I'm going to do is, I'm streaking. I'm strong. I'm going to econ up. I'm not going to spend any gold. I'm going to try and go fast 8, stabilize on 8, whatever. We'll see how far I get. As soon as I lose a match, because I'm highest health in the lobby, so even if I lose a match, I'm still going to be highest health in the lobby, right? I don't want to lose a round for free, but if I lose some round randomly, then I'll start like rolling for upgrades or switching out my board. But until then, I stick with this board and I'm just trying to econ up, right? That is my goal here. My goal here now is I either go fast 8 or fast 9, right? I've given up entirely. I know I said it before because I obviously played this game, so I remember it. But like up until this point, I would still be entertaining the idea of, do I roll on 7 or do I roll on 6 for Annie, right? Should I stay low level, try and pick up these Annies and then go? It's like, no, it's dead. We're going 9, right? Anyways, I'm really strong with the super fan, with the Annie, with the double single target. I get my Nico in, so now I can swap out the other dude, the Gnar, and I have 4 KDA. I have 4 KDA, 4 Spellweaver, which is kind of bad in a way, but like, you know, it's because I have 2 KDA Spellweavers in. But I want to rectify that, but you can't really fix it unless you go like 8. It's kind of whack, but you know, it's like if you had Spellweaver Annie, usually you have 5 of one and then you can drop 1. But it's like, who do I really drop here, right? I don't want to drop Nico, that's the super fan. I don't want to drop this one. I don't want to drop Lilia. So I'm kind of stuck with 4 KDA, if that makes sense. Anyways, I got to drop some items. They're more like AP items, right? I'm thinking like maybe on 8 I go for Karthus Akali. So I'm thinking maybe I should make some Akali items, right? If I want to make Akali items, it's like BT, IE, Titans, something like that, like, you know, like the classics. You can swap out IE for something else. I have a Titans, I have a IE, so I might just slam IE. IE isn't that bad on a unit like AHRI. Even though it's like an AD item, it's not an AP item. Sometimes you can slam these items early. And I think I probably will. I don't exactly remember in the game, but if I was me replaying this, I would slam this IE already. Because this match, I don't want to lose this for free, right? I don't think I'm going to lose it anyways. But IE, it still gives you the crit chance, and it gives you like the extra attack damage bonus. It's not that bad. It's not like BIS, but it still gives you like a really big damage on your ult, which is fine, right? Looking, it's a prismatic ender. Prismatic enders can sway the game a lot. I don't take this. I don't take this. Uplink is okay maybe, but I think my items are like not spreadable, right? I think uplink is really good if you have like a lot of tank items or a lot of like individual items, which I don't have. And I don't think I want this. I think I just take I might take this, but I think it's dumb. Yeah, I think talent search isn't that good anymore. It used to be like really good, and then for some reason now it feels like it falls off. I feel like it's good if you have a full legendary board, which is why I took it, right? Because the full legendary board, they have some crazy headliner effects that make them like really good. Some of them, like I know Kiana with the stacking damage is insane. So if you get an early Kiana, that's good. Now I slam items because I'm just trying to live. So I took talent search because I'm going fast 9, right? That's me deciding that I'm going fast 9, right? The headliner effects aren't that great on some units. Like some of the smaller units, like Annie for example, her headliner effect is like plus 20 AP. It's like, okay, cool. I'm playing Spellweavers anyway. It's diminishing returns at one point, right? But like some of the headliners for like the 5 cost, like Yorick's is insane. Alawi is pretty good. Ziggs is insane. Like almost all of them are great. I think the only one that's a bit underwhelming is Jin. He's like starts with an extra violin, which is like okay, but that's still really good considering how long it takes for him to get online. I grab a bard. We always hold a bard if you're going fast 9 because you want Dazzler. I'm gonna write it up here. You want Dazzler plus Jazz. So this is for Ziggs carry. I'm prepping for my Ziggs carry, right? That's what we're doing there. And as you can see, I'm kind of trying to talk. I'm kind of rambling. This game is very easy, and this is how a lot of your games go if you're going towards like a fast 9 kind of board. Usually you just need to hit like a strong board. This opener is built a lot around this Annie unit that's really broken. As you can see, I'm stage 4 here, Annie 2, and I'm still competitive with everybody. I think I eventually lose a match, but I'm level 8. I'm just sitting on 8. I'm not even rolling to upgrade the board yet because I'm so high health, right? I can lose a match and I'll still be highest health in the lobby, right? I'm not taking 30 or 20 on stage 4, right? Now that's a bit greedy. Like I'm obviously ultra greeding, but I feel like there's no point for me to roll it down. I can just wait for a really good headliner to appear naturally. Basically, that's the way I'm thinking about it, right? I can just wait for it to appear and I can just like, you know, send it later. I don't have to like force it to happen. So here it's like I'm not going to get anything because I'm highest health, so I'm last pick. So everybody's going to get the cool stuff. So I'll just take whatever scraps are left. I think the best is just to make... I either want to complete a 3rd item set for when I lose Superfan, so make one more AP item. If I were me, I would probably take a tier. I take a belt. That's fine. It's like I was going to say, it's either I make like a healing item in case I need like a frontline to complete the Titans, i.e. melee frontline item set. So I would want a healing. So that's either like, you know, Hodge with the tier, or the tier can be an Archangels for the last, an Archangels or another AP item for the last other item set. When I'm talking about item sets, what I mean is like you see these 3 items. I'm thinking of like 3 items, right? Right. So if I have like an AP one or an AD one, right? I'm just trying to think like, okay, I have this, and what's the last item I put on that unit? I have this, what's the last item I put on the other unit, right? I take the belt because I still have bulk, right? So this gives me a lot of HP and helps my frontline. So it's good to have like individual frontline items because like the extra health is like that augment is almost like an additional frontline item for your frontline, right? So as long as I spread out frontline items, I'm pretty strong. And I think I lose this one. He has Riven 3 or Riven 2. Yeah, this Riven wraps my backline and just kills me, right? So I obviously fell off here, right? But that's fine. This guy sent it to 0. And if I scouted, I would have seen it. And maybe I could have positioned against it. That's my mistake. I did obviously, like, I didn't skip it. I didn't skip in the recent couple minutes here. and you can see that I didn't scout. So that's a mistake grossly on my part. And now I scout because I realized, oh fuck, I didn't scout. I should have checked and see what that was. This guy has Karthus, and he's already 8, and he's rolling. He did Recon Bob, so he has a 5 cost from the Recon Bob, which I also didn't scout and didn't see. So I'm starting to see, okay, this is kind of looking bad for me now. A lot of this stage is like me getting complicit, and as you can see, I was kind of just talking here as well. And I should have scouted a little bit just to see what's up so I can at least try and position around it. But this is the point in the game where I fall off, right? We found our limit, which is usually what I said. It's like usually with any 2, you're good for stage 3 and 4. And then stage 5 is when you fall off, right? And we're approaching stage 5, so this is where I'm falling off. This guy's Ascension, and I don't have enough damage, so I don't break through it. But I think I still win. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I still win. Oh, yeah, I was popping off because it was my Kaisa 1 doing some work over there. I hit 2 AHRIs, so it's like, okay, I can just, you know, I'm in this awkward spot now where it's like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna go 9, right? I was thinking, like, should I roll on 8 here, but I just naturaled the 2 other AHRIs. So now we just have the
Easy money!
Oh, that's so loud. Wait, I gotta fix the audio on that. Why is that so much louder than everything else? Sorry. Okay, now I know. I'll fix it on stream. That's my my soundboard. I have like a soundboard that sometimes on stream, I use it, but I don't use it that often because I always forget because I'm in the middle of the game and I'm focusing. I think I want to make a tank item here. I'm thinking either Adaptive Helm. Adaptive Helm is probably the best bet, right? Yeah. So Adaptive Helm is really good because for some reason it feels like it's just a good item to me. Like when it first came out, like in set 9, not first came out, but when it was in set 9.5, I didn't feel that good. I'm just holding this AHRI because I don't know, maybe I go for AHRI 3. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I can sack. I'm 83 health and this guy's 58. He's the next highest person. I can afford to sack 2 and go there. Anyways, this guy took Golden Egg. So, what the fuck? I didn't even see the guy take Golden Egg. But this is really bad for me because he's definitely going to cash out. Because I'm the only person that has like a threatening board this whole game, it feels like. But yeah, I think I still beat him. But he's going to cash out for sure, so he's going to be a problem. But he's level 7, so maybe I managed to win it. But he has like a really good end game. Because usually Golden Egg's a troll unless you can cash it out. Anyways, now is the point in the video where I would like to say for those watching, the plan of action is I was supposed to go 9 and swap out everything for a legendary board. So what does that mean? The legendary board involves me swapping out for Ziggs, Annie for Ziggs, right? And I want frontline with Alawi, what's his name? Yorick, right? I'm holding this for Guardian. I'm holding this for Jazz. We want a Lucian in there. And we put these items on whoever we can, right? Yorick, even though he's like a tank person, you usually don't want to put like giga tank items on him. He does really well if you just give him like attack items and like Omnivamp and those things. Like if you give him like a melee item set, I find that it works really well. I was also talking with my friend who's like, you know, as shit as I am, my homie was top 10 in the world, or top 10 in NA for set 9. So he's got the knowledge deets, and I'm learning with him. And he kind of agrees that Yorick, you want like more attack-based items, I think. So I trust that itemization for Yorick. And then Steadfast Heart I can put on somebody else. Here I can just go 9 and roll. I should have, right? This game, the rest of this game is just me trolling, right? So I'm thinking, do I sell my Annie? Do I sell this, right? I'm going to go through it, but basically what happens here is like I'm still high health, but I'm falling off, right? I'm still winning games, so I'm not sending it just yet. I should send it right here. The reason you send it here is because it's like perfect interval to level, and it's after neutral, so you have like a lot of gold. So usually 5-5, you'll see everybody in the lobby is gonna, like, if you look at this sidebar, they'll all be like sending it, right? This is like the prime part. A 5-5 is when like that's like the last part where you send it. You either send it 5-2 or 5-5. So I should send it, right? I sell the Annie. I'm grabbing some legendary units, but as you can see, I'm not really pivoting off my board. This Thresh is probably good enough. I should grab the Thresh. I find a Kane 2. The Kane 2 is useless. And as you can see, I'm not really finding anything. I'm looking for a legendary board. I find this AHRI, and I find another AHRI over here, right? So what happens here is I say to myself, okay, I did a really poor job on my roll down. Let's watch the roll down as well. Let's see if I missed any tankers, right? So before this, I scouted 2 turns ago or 1 turn ago. There was the golden egg guy. There was one guy with like a Sona. There's one guy with a Ziggs and a Lucian. So some of the 5 costs are gone, right? But not enough that I shouldn't be able to hit a 5 cost headliner, right? That's my thought process, which is true. So I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to low roll. I'm not going to hit a 5 cost headliner. That's good. If I missed one, then this is the main part that I want to look at for mistakes. Because I think up until this game, the game was very easy and I didn't really make any mistakes, right? I think we can all look at this game and think, you know, I did okay, right? It wasn't like bad. It wasn't like amazing, but it wasn't like bad. It was like a fine played game. Maybe there was some micro mistakes in terms of what units to put in at what time, like when I was swapping in for Spellweaver and that stuff. Now, as you can look, I'm rolling for a 5 cost headliner with 50 gold, and I don't hit any of them. I hit a Kane 2 naturally. Maybe I shouldn't have built the Kane because he doesn't really fit in a lot with like some of those boards. And then I find these 2 AHRIs. I could roll this 10 gold to 0, but instead I say, okay, the round's ending. I need to like put in this Sona. I'll give her a Shojin or some shit. And I'll put these items on Kane and hopefully Kane does some work. I'm playing the golden egg guy after he cashes out golden egg. So he has like, what? I think he had like 2 fawns or some shit. He didn't finish building his board, but he still has Samira 3, and I have like no real carry. I have this AHRI 2 and no headliner. So I just get rolled, and that's really bad. So I lose a lot of my health, right? I'm still looking for this 5 cost headliner because, you know, I wanted like either a Lowy or the other one. I put in the AHRI because I just ended up buying the AHRI, and now I kind of go in like, you know, Giga troll mode, and I kind of say to myself, I am gonna get guaranteed top 4 here. I'm gonna try and go for RE3 for the YouTube thumbnail. RE3 is very bad. Oh look, I got a follow. Sick. You can follow on my Twitch on twitch.tv/Fenrir they're great. It's in the description below if you like these type of content. Anyways, the reason I decided to go for RE3 is because I know that RE3 is bad, which sounds so stupid. But basically, RE3 is single target, so even as a 3 cost, a lot of times you lose to other boards because she doesn't do enough spread damage that even as a 3 cost, she just has too many targets to deal with. And then like if it turns into like a 1v5 scenario at the end of the game where there's like 5 legendary units and an RE3, it's like the RE3 can't wipe the whole board. So eventually she kills one, then she has to wait like 5 seconds to cast again, and by that time like the other units just kill her. Right, that's why she's one of the worst 3 costs to invest in. But I know this, so I say I either get RE3 and I win, or I get RE3 and I lose, and that's gonna be good for YouTube. Right? What I should have done here is I should have sold the RE3. I should have tried to get a headliner frontline 5 cost, and I shouldn't be rolling on neutrals. I should build my econ, and I should try and do this. But because I'm 2 REs off, I decide, fuck it, we're gonna try RE3. Right? So I'm just going to roll to 0 here before people catch on what I'm doing. I'm scouting to see if anybody's holding an AHRI. Basically, there's 10 4 costs in the pool, so they can hold 1 of the 4 costs, and then you need 9 to make it. So it's very hard to hit, but I'm level 9, and I think that's like my only chance of like making this into like a cool game instead of just a troll game. But the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm almost guaranteed top 4. The people here, the 2 strongest people are these 2 that have high health. These 2 guys are the weakest next to me. So I definitely think that these 2 are going to die before me. Because there's no way matchmaking RNG is going to be so bad that I'm going to face the same guy 3 times in a row. Or these 2 guys 3 times in a row and lose out. Anyways, these guys that are strong, they're grabbing all the 5 costs because I didn't really roll for them and I didn't really hit them. So now I'm at a point where it's like I might not be able to hit any 5 cost frontline. So I kind of trolled the game a little bit, right? If I sold all of these extra AHRIs and I had that money to roll, there's a chance I can upgrade some of my frontline. I'm holding Karthus and Akali's because I'm trying to see, do I pivot into Karthus Akali maybe? Put in a Karthus. Yeah, so I'm going to put in a Karthus. I beat this guy. I'm top 4, so I feel like I'm secured. I'm just going for the YouTube now, right? There's an Alawi there. I should maybe grab it. I don't know, but I can't really fit it in. unless I lose super fan, but then I don't have the last AHRI item. So I'd rather not do that. Also, because this is an RE2 with an IE, I would like to put this IE on somebody, but because I'm going for RE3, it's also griefing me my last item, which also griefs me my bulk value, so it's just like a really bad thing. I also have Sona 2 with no items because I'm holding this RE headliner, right? I should just sell all my REs, put these items on Sona, put the IE on somebody else, and I would probably do better. I'd maybe play for second. The lucky egg guy is really strong. I think it's this guy that is the lucky egg guy, because he already has like a full board, and he has a fawn, and he has like ascension and pumping up. So he has like scaling comp with scaling items with scale. Like it's just really hard to play against this guy, right? Level 9, and then the other guy is like full legendaries, right? Anyways, I'm top 3, which is what I expected because there's 2 people that were really weak, as I was saying. And that's why I went for this troll play. Don't ever do this. Hitting a 3 cost, I know you see people hit 3 cost, 4 cost all the time. It should be like a last resort. If you have another option of gameplay, you should go for that, because it's actually really hard to hit the 3 cost. Sometimes people just natural it. Right here, I should buy the Alawi. That's what I've been looking for. I roll past it because I'm going for this AHRI, right? If I switch out one of these for Alawi, I start pivoting my board. I know now I'm low health, but imagine if instead of holding these AHRIs, I was rolling for that Alawi earlier, I would have eventually hit it, and it gives me a much better chance. Like, this guy has Ascension, so it's a bit hard to beat him out, but I can definitely play for closer to second, because as long as I'm higher health, like I was highest health in the lobby at one point, and I'm just bleeding out these turns. If I played a stronger board, even if I lose against these guys, I'd bleed out less, and then that's how you get your higher placement, right? And that's really important to consider in these cases. Anyways, I think I try and send it. Oh, there was an AHRI on carousel, by the way. Look, so usually you want to roll, because like sometimes the units that you're holding in these carousels, and they appear on the carousel, right? And sometimes like the traits that are in appear on the carousel. Is just like the way the game kind of works. So what you want to do is you usually want to roll. So I rolled as much as I could. But this might have been the last AHRI, because I think carousel odds aren't influenced by, don't quote me, I might be completely wrong, but I remember reading somewhere or somebody explaining it, like one of the Twitch streamers I was watching, saying that carousel odds aren't affected by, like they're separate from the odds of the roll down. So even though I have 8 AHRIs, it's like it doesn't mean that AHRI on carousel has a less chance of appearing because I'm holding all the AHRIs. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe it does. I think it does if there's no AHRIs left, but I think if there's like any AHRIs available, it doesn't. Anyway, I'm trying to sell my board for this RE3 just so I can have it in the YouTube thumbnail, and I don't hit. And if you look, I rolled so much gold for this AHRI, right? I've been slow rolling all of stage 6. I rolled after neutrals. I had like 6 AHRIs on stage 5, right? And I don't hit it, and I'm just dead, and I'm going third. And that's the video. So what do we learn from this video? Barring the ending, which I think is like, you know, it's just like more for fun. That I didn't want to do a VOD review of this one in particular because I feel like there's not much to learn because of the ending. But hopefully you can learn from the beginning how to tempo, right? If you hit upgrades on your units, right? Make sure, like, if you hit natural upgrades, make sure to prioritize your econ. That's like my tip. I find that I can't win unless I do that, so I feel like that's the right way to play that type of opener. Because if you already have the unit upgrades, you're not gonna have enough money to send it much later in the game, and these ones costs fall off really hard, as you can see around stage 5. So you want to make sure you're rich. Look for a headliner, either like a Kennen 2 headliner, a Lilia, something that's like really strong. One of the strongest is Annie, so this is just a testament to show you how strong Annie 2 is in terms of going through the early game. And then slam items early if you're tempoing, but make sure that they're items that you can put on somebody else. I was mentioning that these are Ziggs items, these are Karthus items, these are Yorick items, these are Akali items, etc. Because you have to have a plan, and as well make sure that there's wide enough that you have multiple options, right? There's some items that are like awkward. For example, slamming a QSS, right? Who can you play a QSS with? It's like some frontline units, but it's not that good on some backline units, right? It's like maybe I should save the QSS and I can make, you know, a tank item with the cape and a steadfast or a crit item with the glove, right? Stuff like that. and then working towards here. And as you can see, I did econ it up. I was a little unlucky on the first roll down because I hit these AHRIs and I got baited by it. Don't get baited by it. It's probably better just to go for a 5 cost. I should have itemized the Sona instead, and because I had these AHRIs with extra items and all this bullshit, I just kind of threw my game, despite having a really good position. Even though there were 2 people that were very strong, I still could have competed for a first or a second, but I basically ran into somebody with Lucky Egg that didn't die out, and somebody with a full legendary board that they hit a lot earlier than me. Anyways, hopefully this was informative, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the VOD reviews, there'll be more ones focused on losses and bigger mistakes that are more interesting in the future, and I do daily TFT uploads on this channel, so make sure to like and subscribe if you want to be a part of that. I also have an art channel, which is my main channel. I'm actually an artist, so you know, go easy on me if I suck at TFT, because that's where my focus is, and I'm planning for like convention displays and stuff like that. Anyways, thank you for watching, and have a great day, everybody.